Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Human Operated Podcast. We're your hosts, Matt Tuggle and the one and only
Christopher Nichols.
All right.
Happy to be here.
And we are just going down this
Rabbit hole.
Intellectual rabbit hole of what is AI going to do. And, we are in 2026 now at the time of this recording. And nothing's slowing down right now, Christopher.
I know. I feel like we made it. I feel like when you make it to 2026, you miss the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So we got through that.
We made it another year. Didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Skynet is not launched yet. So
that's true. At least marketing hasn't got out there. Yeah. Maybe it's lost somewhere.
Maybe.
So.
But we want to talk about, I'm calling it some thoughts that are like, so 2025, it's time for everyone to catch up, but today I want to propose this thought that we've been doing a lot of research in, a lot of digging in for corporate America and enterprise companies that, and this thought I want to propose is there's no such thing as free optimization. Why every AI gain creates a hidden cost somewhere else. Deep thought.
That is a very deep thought, right? And how do you even unpack that? Yeah. I think because optimization is, what is optimization? Mm-hmm. It's centralizing, to an idea. It's centralizing and basically directing, I would say, energy towards something. It's like a spear. Like optimization to me feels like a spike, right?
Right.
And but to me, it's like optimization. And then when you spike it, it's like, okay, well, what's happening over here and all this other stuff, right? There's cost that's happening, or there's something else is being removed from the system, right?
Yep.
Like it's not free energy. Some energy's got to go over here. It gets pulled off somewhere else, right?
Yes.
So, okay. Help me understand what the optimization concept is.
Optimization pressure.
Yeah.
It never disappears. So you're it doesn't remove costs. It pivots the cost to a different place.
Yeah.
So kind of narrowed down in our research that you're going to move it to either people, time, trust, or the future. Okay. People, time, trust, or the future.
People, time, trust, or the future. Okay.
So, every AI pitch promises like the world, like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so much easier. There'll be less effort, fewer mistakes. That's the promise of optimization. Yeah. But the question is that no one really asks is, where did that effort go?
Yeah.
Where does it go? So humans instinctively believe efficiency equals progress, but history shows us efficiency often relocates burden. AI acceleration is a relocation. This is what's kind of scary is that AI, because it moves in mimicking our intelligence so fast.
Yep.
That no one really knows is we know historically that optimization moves the cost somewhere, but AI moves fast, so it's going to move that cost fast. And are we going to be able to catch where we pivoted the cost? And I could give some
I need a visual because I'm a visual guy, and I think in like story tone, maybe, right?
Yeah.
So I think when I think about it, I almost have to take myself away from technology for half a second. Right. Because if I'm thinking about what does optimization look like tangibly, and how would it like materialize outside of a business or like in a normal sense? Okay. Mm-hmm. So this is where my brain goes. Okay. My brain goes towards a perfect landscape. Like you have like a pristine backyard. Okay.
Yep.
And let's say you have a room or like you have a backyard that's like perfectly manicured. Lawn is perfectly cut. Every blade of grass is like perfect. There isn't a single thing out of place anywhere, right? And when I think about that, that's like perfectly optimized.
Right.
But the cost of that is at a crap ton of maintenance, right? Like you have to be out there in that backyard, not just daily, but probably like hourly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a one leaf falls on your grass and suddenly it's a disaster.
It's so noticeable.
Right? It's noticeable.
Because everything was perfect.
Because everything was pushed so far to this perfect, optimized state that one thing gets out of whack, and it's like how this perfect yard all of a sudden looks weird. And it almost feels more unkept by that one piece of the one thing out of place than like a little less perfect. Yeah. Does that make sense?
I mean, like, think if you go on a hike in the Uintas or the Rockies or, name your mountain range.
Yeah.
There's no intentional landscaping in that.
No, it's beautiful.
But it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? You see a field with all the wildflowers, but it's chaos.
Yeah.
But it's at a point of the beauty isn't interrupted by the natural forces, right?
Yeah.
But I would go even deeper, like instead of a perfectly cut grass, maybe it's turf, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like my buddy has a backyard with turf, but here in Utah we have these shrub oaks, and so when he's vacuumed the turf and everything's cut, immaculate.
Yeah.
But the second wind blows in, a few leaves hit it, it is so noticeable.
Yeah, it's like something is really weird about this. It's odd. Let alone like the fake grass. Like that's one thing.
Yeah.
Vacuuming your yard. That's like that. Well, no, the vacuuming your yard, like that's normal, right? But like the leaf on it, no. Yeah. Like it's bizarre. Like you've gone past the point of normal, right? Yeah. Or like I guess you've gone past like the ability of the system, so to speak, to act naturally, right? And to recover from failure. I think that's what's interesting, so right? Because you've gone past this point with your yard where your yard can no longer accept the cost of being like of something disrupting it, right?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Dude. So that's how I think about it. Because like, and it makes so much sense because like you can apply that to business, your home, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like customer service departments, like, okay, use case for customer service. I think you had like a really cool one.
Yeah. All right. Let's throw this out. Okay. Real life example number one here. Customer support automation, right? Here's the optimization promise. Chatbots reduce support headcount. Yeah. Right. Don't need as many people. Faster ticket closure sounds great. Yeah. Lower cost per interaction. Yeah. Right? Yep. Your chatbots are awake. They don't need a lunch break. All that stuff.
It's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
But here's
making money when I'm sleeping.
Here's what is actually starting to show in the market over the last year of implementation. Customers feel unheard. That's an unseen cost up front.
Okay. So I want to kind of go through these one by one.
Okay. Let's break it down. All right.
So like, why would they feel unheard though? Because they're getting their questions answered, right?
Mm-hmm.
So isn't that kind of like a weird thing that naturally pops up with people though?
Yep.
It's like, well, I don't understand. Like I told you the problem. I told you how to fix this, right?
Yeah.
Like I gave you the answer. It's like, yeah, but you didn't hear me. Like you didn't like, does that make sense?
Because we intrinsically, when we're so irritated that we need to get on the phone and call the company and tell them how they've let us down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What you want, whether you acknowledge it or not, is you want someone to say, yeah, you were wronged.
Yeah.
That's and who actually understands how this would inconvenience your life, how this hurt your feelings or whatever it did.
Yeah.
And there's something about those good. I mean, I'm thinking of times I've called companies, and actually I'm thinking like, I probably am loyal to my current cell phone provider, not because of the times it's worked, but because the 2 times I have had to call them, they have like been like, just the fact that you had to call us, we're going to give you the next month free. I hate that rep. I can remember a very distinct time where I was 100%. I was calling them to say I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And that rep met me at my frustration, legitimized my frustration, shared a little personal story of a time they felt that frustrated, and then took some action to compensate my He even says like, you've been a customer with us for 7 years.
Yeah.
We don't want to lose you.
Yeah.
And that effort, but knowing that it was a person who actually felt what I felt, was me feeling heard.
When it is kind of interesting because I guess the question is like, why is that different from AI doing it? Mm-hmm. Because I think when AI does it, it's like, oh, like statistically, if I offer this thing to, to Matt right now, he'll say, well, you are no longer, there isn't like an emotional connection. You're a statistic.
Yep.
Like you're an approximation, you're a probability, you know what I mean? And it's just so interesting. There's something so indescribable maybe about talking to that person on the phone and then them being like, you know what? I agree. Yeah. And like that, I could totally understand. Like that type of things happen to me, how like, and then I think even what's kind of interesting about it is that I feel as though people have to go through like this act of discovery innately. I think people have like this idea of like, I need to discover, I need to go on like an adventure. And I think even that conversation with the customer rep is part of that need to discover and conquer a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that psychology of not just psychology, is maybe even turns it into a math problem. It's the reality of being a human that I need to have this conversation with somebody because I need to go on this journey of reconciliation.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And it's not just the outcome. It's that path and that conversation.
Yes.
Right?
The journey matters to people. And also like if I'm calling on my lunch break.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I want the person on the other end to, when I say, hey, like I had to take my lunch break.
Yeah.
To do this.
Yeah.
When I could have went out with my
yeah.
work buddy or this or that, and them go, yeah, I take lunch breaks too.
Yeah.
So that sucks. I wouldn't want to lose my lunch break into this, right?
Yeah.
But the AI bot, can say the words, but I'm like, you don't need a lunch break.
Yeah, you don't need a lunch break. You've been up all night. Yeah. You don't even need a yerba. Huh?
You are not the same as me. And people,
yeah,
there's an inherent need to be like, I want to know that who I'm working with like understands me.
Yeah.
Right. And appreciates me. But there's no way people know.
Yeah.
Even no matter how good the communication skills of the bot are, how quick it answers my questions, unless it is a very, I guess I'll be fair. If it is a very low level thing that I want done in 30 seconds, maybe. But that's not usually why I'm calling when I have a customer service complaint.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely realm for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, we have tractors, right? We're okay with that. Like there's a part of life that a tractor can take over or make better than having to go into the field and do everything myself, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel as though intrinsically, like humanity understands tooling and the use of tooling.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But there is a problem when the tooling tries to take over the interaction, the conversation. Yes. Right. Like that to me is the big problem. If you're going to talk about anything, right?
Yep.
I think even when you get into robotics and stuff like that, it's gonna be the same thing. I think, it might be like very eerily close and like the conversations right and all this stuff. But I think when you walk away from that conversation with like a robot or whatever, it's almost just like you almost get like this reality. It's like that. It was almost like a hallucination.
Yeah.
That never really happened. Right.
Yep.
There isn't a person on the other side of that was impacted.
Yeah.
And they didn't carry their journey or their, life forward. So.
I mean, it sounds weird, but sometimes you actually, talking about like cost movement.
Yeah.
You actually, what you want to feel like you did is you transferred some of your pain, the cost you were paying onto the company.
Exactly.
That makes you feel better. Like, hey,
dude, that's such a good
I need
point.
to give you some of what you have done to me. And when somebody receives that, takes it on as a person, and says, this is my place. Like we're here to take that cost off of you and replace it with some kindness, some reinforcement of we value you.
Yeah.
And I just know that if I and it sounds bad, but if I rip into and rip a new one, like when you ask for the manager, why are you doing that? Because you want to tell them, I don't appreciate your company. I want to transfer my annoyance to a human who might actually go talk to their boss and say, hey, maybe we should change our process.
I know. Yeah.
But with the robot,
it just goes into nowhere.
It does. You didn't pass anything off.
Exactly.
It didn't get affected.
Oh my gosh. That's a really good thought though.
Right?
It's so like psychologically true. Because like when you're talking to a robot, you can yell and scream and you're just like, but nothing happened. Nothing happened. I just like might as well have like been screaming into a room.
I'm still alone in my pain.
Still alone in my I'm still alone in my pain.
Yep.
So like it makes sense why people aren't feeling heard, right?
Yeah.
Because like I'm yelling at this chat, this like, this AI. And dude, I've done it a couple times where like I'm trying to work, chat's not doing it. I'm just like, and I hit the caps lock and then I type it out. You know what I mean? And then I'm like that did something. Like
that. Did you get it yet?
Like
all caps.
It's all caps. Fix it. No, nothing happened. I had to get up and I had to eat a cookie or something. I don't know. Yeah. Just like
you're gonna transfer your costs now to carbs. The Oreos will understand my pain. But it's real, and so I like what you said too. There are optimization places when I call in. For instance, I am so sick and tired of press 1, press 2, press 3. I'm ready for the day when it just answers and says, hey, what you need?
Yeah.
And I can just say a sentence and it goes, now you're at the right department.
Yeah.
So optimize that part.
Yeah. I mean, but I still want to talk to somebody. Do you know what I mean?
When I'm calling to talk to somebody.
I know, but but you're right. Like, I think, like, if I just want information, I don't need to call up somebody and get like hours of operation. No one does that anymore. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to have to do that. I don't have to call somebody, get on the phone, go through the whole thing. Hey, what do you need? I need to know, like, how often you guys are open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just need the information.
Have a bot tell me.
Right. Have me a bot tell me that.
Are you open on this day?
Yeah.
Great.
Right.
Quick, easy, no emotion. But when I have emotion, so going back to the cost transfer, okay, I think we set the precedents pretty well. I think everyone can relate to that moment.
Yeah.
But the cost transfer, so as a customer, you're going to feel unheard when you really had a problem. Another interesting thing, edge cases escalate later, angrier, and people are more expensive.
Dude, that one's super interesting to me.
Right?
Yeah. Because it was one of those things I never really considered, right?
Yeah.
But like at some point when you get past the robot and you get to the AI, now you're talking in all caps to a person, right?
Yes.
Like you're just like, and that person on the other side is getting screamed at all the time. Like everything that he gets or she gets, like they get is the escalation. Yeah. I mean, the biggest problem, right?
That customer service rep's job has fundamentally, you might have less of them.
Yeah.
But that one or two people you left only deal with the worst case scenarios all day, every day.
It's like if hell was a job, it would be a Monday every day.
Yeah.
And that's what this would be for this guy, right? Yeah. Every day is a Monday for him.
Yep.
Right. And he's always the worst cases, always worst. Can you imagine going home and talking to your family? Like, how was your day? Like, and every day it's like my calls have gotten worse. Yeah. After we've implemented this, right?
Exactly. Because that's what's going to happen. The fringe stuff. And so let's say so this is what we're talking about, moving cost, right? So you're a big organization, you have 10 customer service reps.
Yeah.
Because of automation and the calls that get escalated, now you move down to 2.
Yeah.
But those 2, probably they were your best, right? Yeah. That would just you'd logically keep your best 2 guys.
Yeah.
But those best 2 guys used to come home and go, babe, I had like 12 calls today.
Yeah.
10 of them, those are lifelong customers. I rule at my job. 2 sucked, but you know what? 10, I kicked butt.
Yeah.
Well, now the 2 that he didn't win are the only calls he takes. So now he comes home, I had 12 calls again, and I sucked at all of them. Every customer quit. Every customer was angry. Your cost is you're burning out your employee. And the whole point was originally was we're going to make it easier. You're going to have less calls.
Yep.
But the unintended cost is the calls that get to you
are worse.
Are the sucky ones.
Oh, yeah. I know, because like AI, it's like the guardrails that go in are like, hey, when it gets escalated, hand off to a human person, right? Or like, if you're not sure about it, whatnot. Yep. So that person is constantly just there freaking out, stressed out, eating cookies, right? Yeah. The wrong thing. Yep. And it does, I think there's two things, well, several aspects to this. That's weird, right? So I think you have to measure the business cost, right?
Yep.
Which is your employees. So they're burning out. They hate their job, right?
Yep.
So their performance is now going down, right? They're like, they did great last year. Hey, we put in all this automation. Why do you suck now? Yeah. Right? Why are you doing so bad? Yep. Well, they're getting worse communication. Like they can't close as many things, right? Their KPIs are going down, right?
Yeah.
So can you imagine if every single call that you took was, like you said, a canceled customer at that point? Like your KPIs, you can't even hit them.
Yeah.
Right? How would you be able to hit that?
Yeah, your bonus structure, if you have a bonus structure for sales, tanks,
I know.
All this bot that doesn't need any reward is just crushing it for you.
Like the bot is crushing it. They got a bonus, you know what I mean? Got more RAM. I don't know what's going on. But this guy over here, he's like, well, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like every customer that I get, every call that I'm talking to right now has been escalated to, and I cannot resolve it. And I bet you the manager's response is like, well, it's your job to do that. You're the best, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to do that, right?
That's your job. You used to be able to do this, but I mean, and isn't it funny that still to this day, we all know, and every business knows, okay, the final stop is still always a person, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason, because we know that is like that meets a need that the AI can't do. But another cost that you don't realize what I want to try to get out of this is to try to help people understand that the cost is baked in, it and never goes away. Right? The cost of business is always there.
Yeah.
So it's not so much if you've eliminated cost, it's where you're putting it. Where are you transferring it, right?
Yeah.
And by over optimizing, you are moving it somewhere. So this is the other part. You can't measure how every time a customer calls, talks about what erosion that's causing. So even the ones that didn't get escalated to a person, how many people said, I guess that's good enough?
Oh, yeah.
But there's an erosion of brand appreciation or the customer loyalty because they don't feel personal connection with your brand anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
And that cost you might not see for years.
Yeah.
Right. I know for me, this a real life example. I have because I travel. I have an American Express. I pay money to have this card.
Yeah.
But part of the card is I have a number that I immediately talk to a person. And I that in the lounge at the airport.
Also good.
Also, that's why I pay for this high level card. I get good reward points, so I try to earn it back. But truth be told, I probably just do enough points where I kind of break even on what I pay. Yeah. I'm paying for the premium of I get when I need to book a flight, I call and I talk to a person.
Yeah.
And anyways, so.
Yeah. And okay. So I love this. Right. And I keep thinking about like the cost. I mean, well, how do you fix that? Right.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's that type of thing. It's almost like pretty easy, right? You have to be really like that. The customer service rep needs to be able to take the good call, right?
Yeah.
And be forward into the conversation so that they can not just for their own health and sanity, right? A normal day, that's not just the bad thing.
Yep.
But you kind of think about that, it allows the customer maybe randomly, pseudo randomly, like to talk to a person immediately. And suddenly that snaps the customer out of that mode of like, I'm just going to talk to AI. But a human person comes out like, hey, how you doing? This like, I'm Chris. Like, what's going on? And there's like, oh, are you like, you can almost guarantee that it de-escalates and it causes the customer to have that that culture shock a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It's with the company. I know. What do you think about that?
No, 100%. In fact, I would argue right now, the greatest premium, even today, and it's only getting like, we're only heading down this being even more so. Human connection is now a premium experience. It's a premier experience.
Yep.
If you call a business and a person answers immediately, even I mean, I've done this. Like, you know, we had a leak and I called a plumbing company, and you know, I think it was like a name like Joe's Plumbing. Joe answered the phone. Yeah, and I was like, oh, Joe?
Like
Joe?
I teared up a little bit.
It felt luxury. Yeah. And to be honest, probably Joe doesn't invest in any, you know, technology, but it almost felt luxury to talk to not just, but a person who is making the decisions in the business.
Yeah.
And I think as we go further, people don't realize like that actually could be a premium experience.
Oh yeah.
And that doesn't mean there's no place for optimization. Why not optimize the speed to which I can get
to a person
if I need a person?
Yeah.
Now, if I don't optimize the speed, I can get to my answer. But when I want a person, if your AI eliminated press 6 buttons to get to a person.
Yeah.
And I got on and said, hey, how can I help you? And I said, I need to talk to a person. I would love that company.
Yeah.
That would feel like a premium service.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Is there?
You've transferred cost.
Yep.
To a you might have you've automated parts of it.
Yeah.
But you have not moved your cost back to me and my erosion of the brand. You've took it upon yourself, but that creates loyalty. All right, so I want to give another example because
one more. Let's do it.
This whole idea of moving cost. So let's talk about using algorithmic hiring and screening, right? So what do you optimize? Resume screening at a scale, faster hiring, reduced recruiter workload. Okay.
Sounds great.
If you're a business owner, here's maybe hidden cost. Qualified candidates filtered out silently, right?
Okay.
What if they're a great guy that just isn't good at putting his stuff down a resume, but he's killer for the role. He has 30 years experience, but he's just not good at putting that on the resume. But your person goes, yeah, no, you're the right guy. Bias becomes harder to detect, right?
Okay. How so?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's use an example, right? So I've had this happen to me at a couple companies I've worked at. I usually, have decent work ethic and I do good and I usually perform. And I have had several times my managers say, hey, do you have any buddies that might be interested in working here? Because they know that, I think it's John Maxwell, leadership guru, says, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And so, like kinds hang out. And so a hiring recruiter recognizes that, okay, the deliverables, the caliber, and how you interact with me says something, but you're going to lose that. And hypothetically, if your recruiter carries your culture very strongly, you would assume that over time they're going to hire to the culture. But if you replace the hiring process and the screening process with AI, it's now taken over long term. It's taken over the culture steering wheel of the company.
Kind of blowing my mind a little bit because, like,
think about that.
If AI, because it's kind of like, well, what is AI like optimizing for? Like, what is it? Context, prompt, all that stuff, right?
Yep.
Well, that means that AI, like you said, is the culture center. It's not the person carrying the culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So AI is like, and not only that, but AI is trying to figure out like, well, they're in XYG job, you know what I mean? All this stuff, they're better at this. They look better on paper, right?
Yep.
Well, then those resumes that come through, they're basically just optimized resumes that feed into the optimized AI,
Yep.
right? And then I'd almost argue that it's like an imbalance, because I would bet that the number of resumes that are generated and getting sent out are like skyrocketing. I don't know this like from a numbers perspective.
Yep.
But you almost kind of think that you can like generate a resume for every job, right? Like you can say like, oh, it's job description, I need a job. Like generate me a resume like perfectly to
you can stick that into AI and say, make
Exactly.
my resume match their requirements perfectly.
Exactly.
So AI wrote the optimization code and then AI is picking.
Yeah. And then AI is taking the optimized resume.
It's literally random hiring the guy who's best with prompting in ChatGPT.
Exactly. So like now, you kind of think that customer service guy, marketing, person, all these people, right? It's like, well, those resumes have just kind of flatlined. So every resume goes through the same prompt. It has the same structure. It has like, it's geared towards the same text that's on the other side of things. And both sides of those coins, AI resume, AI hiring manager, or like resume filter, right?
Yep.
You might as well just like flip a coin at that point. Like legit, right? Like if you're going to think about it, if I have 100 resumes on my table and my job as an AI is to pick the best one, it's essentially like 1 in 100, right?
Yep.
Like you have a 1% chance to get a callback, right? At that point.
Yep.
Right. So, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
So then it gets, maybe you have an in-person interview and people are probably getting frustrated to getting the wrong, people, the wrong like candidates, because like everyone's got the right thing, the look to get through the engine. Okay, great. Well, then you just kind of, I would imagine what ends up happening in my mind. I'm the guy I have to hire for this role. I've gone through 20 people at this point, 100 people, and I'm like, crap. Fine, just do it. Like, I don't care. Bob. Like, why'd you pick Bob? I don't know. Like, random.
Or worse, it's like, well, I ran him through our AI scoring and his resume had the highest score.
That was like, these are 20 resumes that came through. I interviewed 10 of them. And then I ran that through AI and AI told me to do this one.
Yeah. But
isn't that terrifying now?
And then, okay. So, let's say you start this year in your company.
Yeah.
And your department that you're hiring for has 10 employees.
Yeah.
First couple guys get hired through AI. You're not going to see a huge culture shift in that department.
Yeah.
Because there's still 8 guys who hopefully are performing. Because you're probably replacing the bottom of the barrel first, right?
Yeah.
Like most of the time, people get promotions, but most of the time you're replacing the people that didn't work out.
Yep.
Okay. Year 1, 2 new hires. Year 2, now you're at 4 new hires through the AI. Still, the culture, 60% is the old. You're not going to see it fully because we also know, I'm using a sales department, but it's usually your top 20% that do 80% of the sales anyways. But once a few years in, and now your recruiting department is dependent on AI.
Yeah.
You've lost all manual processes because you've been doing this forever. Yeah. And one day you hit 90% AI hires.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you can't figure out, why is this department so different than it used to be?
Yeah. What happened?
Why is the culture? And nobody's responsible.
Yeah.
The recruiter's going to go, well, I just did what AI told me to do.
Yeah, I was like, this was the most predicted, the best optimized thing. Like, I don't know. Well, I think it goes like almost one level deeper than that too. Okay.
Yep.
So it's the analogy is the one bad apple spoils the whole bunch, right? Like you think about it like that. All right. Well, it's even so. Your business, a business, basically is relationships in a lot of ways, right? How do people relate to each other, right? So every time you introduce somebody that's not in alignment with culture, not alignment of brand, not has like the right thing on paper because it's been predicted or whatever. You kind of have to think that the relationship strength, there's almost like a little tear in that web. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because like if you have everyone's knit together, I don't want to call it like a spider web, it's kind of like a spider web, right? It's a web of relationships. That culture change breaks a strand in that web.
Yep.
And eventually you have too many of those and you're just like, why is nothing happening? Right. Like I have the people, right?
Yep.
My culture, the core values didn't change.
Yep.
But what happened to my business, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, over here, this person got hired and they're doing the right thing. I don't know what to do about it, but it's just not a fit. This person over here, they're doing the right thing. They're just not a fit.
They're not a cultural
fit.
Yep.
So like your spider web, that is your strength, right?
Yep.
That's the strength that's holding the business together. That's like capturing
clients,
the flies,
yep.
The sales, right? Like doing the thing.
Yep.
Well, those strands are now broken, like just so much. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you might not realize it until the full structure starts to crumble.
Yeah.
Because there's not a person that's accountable, right? So what you probably would ultimately realize is that your recruiting team and probably your HR team really are this infrastructure that is setting culture in the company.
Yeah.
Like we don't know why, but we love Bill and Bill's the recruiting guy and the guys he picks, Bill loves those
people.
And that works. When Bill likes a guy, they fit right?
Yep.
But AI is not Bill. And I mean, Bill could type in prompts like I look for these key things.
Yeah.
But like I said, what's it going to look at? A resume. That's a resume. The resume is made by AI anyways. So if you put on the job, we're looking for these things, I can give you a resume that says I have those things.
I know.
But you're not going to, the cost. So this is what we're talking about. Cost transfer. Cost transfer is this. You're going to have the cost of bad hiring, but you may not realize it until a department is completely upside down in the culture, because Bill was never saying, I like that guy.
Yeah. Like I think Bill's super cool, by the way. Yeah. I feel like Bill is
Bill.
I know.
Bill's the guy you go to get a beer with after work. Like
I know. It's like he's already my best friend. I got like an image of him.
Yeah. Every company has Bill.
And he's just like a good dude, like the right culture. He's just got, I don't know, there's something just like, he's just friendly, Bill. Right? He's just got that quality.
Oh man, I've been in this before in corporate America. I remember when we actually had a CEO shift, and the old CEO, she brought this. It was a hard job that we did. Our hires were like mid-level electricians, kind of blue collar guys, and her culture brought this softness to a industry that has a bend towards being rough.
Really?
And it was a good balance.
Yeah.
When they let her go for this guy who had a really good resume, worked at Procter & Gamble, and he was a good guy. Yeah. But the loss of that almost, I would say, feminine touch in an industry that was it caused you could feel it. 6 months later, like, man, why is everyone angry? Why? There's just a little too there's some rage in the company.
That's
now.
So funny.
But it happened.
It does happen, man. Like, and I think the other thing that's interesting about it is that Bill or the CEO, they no longer have there's no legitimacy or ownership to the process, right? Because Bill, super cool dude.
Yeah.
And he could be like, well, it's like, you told me to use the tools. I used the tools.
Yeah.
Like, I hired who it said to hire.
Can't blame Bill.
You can't even blame Bill. And you love Bill, but Bill's still got to be someone has to be accountable for that decision.
Yeah.
But nobody is. Because it's like, I did what you said. I did what you told me. Yep. You told me to use to generate, just go out there, generate a job description. Great. You told me to run through the the interview, the resumes, because I have too much on my plate. You told me to hire somebody. You told me to get the top candidate. I did that.
Yeah.
And then but then it's like, who is like, no one's accountable.
Yep.
It's like, it's now a system of zero accountability.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
And
meanwhile, you're going to remove all of your old piping that used to be the way you'd build culture in your company because you've automated. And so by the time the cost catches up with you, you're like, dude, Bill quit a long time ago because Bill liked talking to people.
I know. Oh my gosh, dude, that's true.
And then it's not like you just go, oh, okay, throw out that AI tool. No, we didn't feel the cost immediately. We disintegrated our effective way.
Yeah.
Right? Where when it's people, it doesn't happen. I want to bring up one more example of transferring costs.
Okay.
This one, if you have been alive and you were making money in 2008, we all remember the housing crisis of
I'm not that old,
right? Yeah. I don't know. When is it's a kid? No. I remember my parents being it's weird. It's weird that was a long time ago. But
gross.
There was a massive the housing market just obliterated, and literally the government had to bail out the banking system, right? Well, I just want to read a little thing. In 2008, the housing crisis was a result of optimization taken too far. New financial rules, models, and incentives optimize the system for short-term efficiency and volume rather than long-term stability. Banks optimize return on equity. What triggered that was the government saying, we're going to support you if you give equitable loans. Now, not saying anything wrong with equity, but we optimize getting people through the loan service and threw out some of our traditional, can this person actually afford the loan if the market stops increasing? Because everyone could, I remember I was a few years out of college.
Yeah.
And I was given approval for a $350,000 loan, and I made $1,000 a month because I was still in college. I was a waiter.
Wow.
And I got approved.
Yeah.
For a $350,000 loan.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, well, you just have to pay interest.
Yeah.
It's fine. $700, 70% of my income. They were like, go for it, bro. And my dad was like, you are not getting a house right now. Like
but I got approved.
I'll get roommates, Dad. Thank goodness, because literally 6 months later, that house was the townhouse I wanted to buy. It's in California. It's like you could buy $300,000 back then. I would have been underwater like $200,000, man.
Wow.
And but the point is that happened because there was a change in the rules, and what people did is the cost got moved to the future. And that happened because we optimized the loan process. You could get approved for a loan in a week. Wow. And I hate it. I own a house now. Last time I got a loan, it was a pain in the butt, man. I hate underwriters. Yeah. They're like, no offense, underwriters, but you're the worst. You're the only people I'm like, we should automate you. No, I'm kidding. They're the worst for a reason, though.
Yeah. Dude, it's weird because everyone... when I think of it in terms of like friction, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think that it's interesting because it's like part of being successful is like friction getting there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that getting a loan and going through these processes, it's like, well, why can't I just get a loan right now? And it's like, well, like that's a 30-year investment, like, supposedly, right?
Yep.
And that's a long time. Do you have the ability to like navigate the friction for a couple weeks? You know what I mean?
Well, here's the deal.
Does that make sense?
You nailed it. They're making you pay some of the cost up front instead of pushing it into the future.
Yeah.
Where the pain would compound. You have to get your stuff in order and make sure that your debt to income ratio is a certain standard. And you pay the cost up front. They're keeping the cost up front because the cost I would have had I gotten that loan in 2008 is a year later, it would have cost me $200,000 being underwater. And
it's so wild.
I would have been,
oh my gosh,
a ticking time bomb because I had I think it was 5 or 7 years of interest only.
Yeah.
But that $700 payment was gonna go up.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
A lot of us, so they optimized out my friction at the beginning, but they didn't. You can't remove the cost. They just pushed that cost down. I would probably, I don't know, I would still be paying for it. I might still be. I would have been years of getting myself out of a hole.
Yeah.
Right. I would have lost the house.
Yeah.
I would have been bankrupt. I would have had 7 years of cost, but because you move the cost up front.
Yeah.
And so that's the point, is that optimization, you cannot erase cost. Friction is necessary, and not necessary. We can make things easier, but we need to recognize that when we do that, cost gets moved.
Yeah. That is such a profound statement. I think on so many different levels, right? Yeah. Because it's cost in marriage, cost in relationships, cost in, like I said, housing, maturity, cost in growth in a company. You know what I mean? Because not to kind of go back to Bill, but kind of go back to Bill. Bill, he paid the cost, getting to that position, right?
Yep.
Probably 20, 30 years of just Bill doing the thing. That's why he's so good at it. Why everyone loves him. It's why he knows the right people.
Yeah.
Now the optimization of Bill would be to get an intern to run the reports for you.
Yep.
And that intern, you've just removed the friction up front, right?
Yep.
And you've put that responsibility on someone that hasn't gotten there yet, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
And you took 30 years of Bill already paid the cost to have that intuition to know what works in the company.
Yep.
And you moved Bill to another company.
Yep.
And all of his cost absorption that he had caused for your organization for the years of experience gets lost, and that cost now has to go to someone else.
Yep.
And it goes to your future, your people, or your clients.
Yeah.
And that is it's a real mathematical thing, bro.
Dude. All right, bro. I think we're wrapping up. That's I could sit on this forever, though.
Oh, yeah. I want to drop this little thing here because one of the reasons we started this podcast is to help people make good decisions with AI.
Yeah.
We are not an anti-AI, but we also know that because of this new tool, the human premium has gone up.
Yep.
So I am going to just drop, you are more than welcome to go to our HOC website, humanoperated.com. We actually are launching and putting out there a certification program where you can tell your clients we offer the human premium to you. We are building AI ethically.
Yep.
And I think if you're using in your business conversations the phrase human in the loop, that is so 2025. That's a dead phrase. Human in the loop is not what you want to be thinking. You want to be thinking human in charge. Human leading the charge with amazing tools that AI offers. And so go check us out on our website, humanoperated.com. But appreciate you guys joining us today. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you at the next episode.
Thank you.